right? So
Yes, true.
So how is that different from having to ban small battlefield and PS2 because they're both bypass? A legitimate question. Before you continue on your other point, I just want to understand how is that different than smalling. Why is banning small battlefield and PS2 such a big issue when you
No,
have a
but
game
here's the
that
thing.
you?
I'm not. No. Here's the thing. I'm not making an argument that town and city. I'm making an argument that town and city should also not be on the starter stage. So that is what I'm trying to make
Okay,
here.
so you're saying you're not okay with town and city.
Town and city, yeah. Okay, final destination would be a starter because I would just say because it's been there from a very long time. But town and city should be a counter pick instead of a starter is what I'm trying to say. But again, I'm like pretty new to the scene. I wouldn't know much.
Yeah,
And
that's
that
a
is the
different
same.
point, and that's a point
Yeah,
I actually
so-
believe as well. So let's.
So that is the same reason why I think that small battlefields should be in the starters and Pokemon Stadium 2 should be in the counter pick. Like the same argument as what I have with Town and City. Because intrinsically it's a flat surface, and I do not know why we have two of the same stages on a single pick on starters. So that is all I have to say.
Yeah, I agree, and I'll tell you, and something very interesting. Actually, if you look at our stage list, it's
Also,
impossible to have.
Sunit, so I would have to one second before you talk. I would have to increase your volume. I cannot hear you at all.
No issues. No issues. Tell me when I can go. Yeah.
Alright, yeah, go on.
Yeah. When I was talking, so the funny thing about Smash Ultimate, and it's a very unfortunate thing in my opinion, we actually only have 4 distinct stage layouts. So Kalos, Town, and FT are all instantly flat.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Okay. Town, Smashville and Yoshi's Island are both instantly central platform. We have
Yeah,
two
got it,
flats,
got it.
and then we have 2 Sky flats. So unfortunately, we have to have all 4 of them. Like we have to have one duplication. So my question then becomes: do you believe we should have 2 flat stages, 2 triple flats, or 2 biflats? What do you think is the least excuses? And that's a legitimate question I want to know because I believe
Okay,
it's
so-
2 biflats.
Okay, did you say Kalos and FD are the same
No,
stage?
I actually think it's fine. Okay, so okay, now given that you have put up the 4 thing that there are only like mainly 4 stage types, I think actually Final Destination and Town and City would come in. If you ask why, it's just because Town and City has those moving flats which keep coming. And again, even though it's a single stage, I mean it's like a basic stage with one in the side, but we do have the slide flats which keep coming. So I think that kind of adds a little bit of mix. So that is why I think 4 different stage types and Town and City, just because of the moving flats.
Okay, so you think the moving flats are enough to actually justify having 2
Yes.
flat stages?
Yes.
Fair enough. That's a fair point. I actually have even though I really like a Hatches Off rule set, I actually in Hatches Off would say that we should have less moving flats in the starter for that reason. Like we're saying Hatches Off so you move to an extent. But that's a very interesting point. Also, Avicii, I didn't say they're the same. I said they both are instantly flat and neutral. Platform to the side only
Yeah,
affect
but neutral is not
stage.
the whole game, no?
Only
when
a
you look
platform-
at
Wait,
when you look at
I'm still talking to you.
okay.
I was literally still talking. Don't cut me off again. Okay, when platforms to the side do affect certain areas of the game, the point here is more, especially Kalos. Okay, if Kalos was a much shorter stage, I would not be saying this. In fact, even though I did say earlier that Town and City's side plat layout is basically still FT, with recovery being easier, the fact that the plat zones are so close to the side plat really changes how the game is. Kalos is so big that the side plats really do not make as much a difference as people like to believe, to be honest.
Yeah, I think
Simple
I agree
as
with
that
Smith
is
on
why I
that
say
point.
Kalos, it's
The Kalos side platform really affects the ledge trapping and edge guarding phase of the game.
very
Neutral
small
is
amount of the game.
what?
No, Kalos is on the outside. If it's on the inside,
Kalos is outside. Like you can.
yeah, exactly. At this point, we are nitpicking, to be honest.
Yeah. But-
Abhijit,
Nice.
also, I cannot say that Yoshi's Island will also be removed purely because everybody What do you say? Everybody picks it in RC. Until that pick rate goes down, we can't even pick it up.
Pikachu wins!
Yes. Yeah, before we added Lilat. I honestly, I think Lilat has a lot of, not so much game issues, but Lilat people are a bit wary of. But I still think it's necessary because we do not have enough unique layouts. And that actually, that's a question I'd have to ask Ishan. Ishan, as we were saying, would you say that Lilat should be a starter? You move down in city and put Lilat in. Now all 5 stages are unique.
No. So the problem with Lilat is like 3 plats, and it's kind of similar to Battlefield. I mean, the middle plat is a little lower. It's kind of like a mix between, how do I put it, Yoshi slants with the middle plat being a little lower.
I can agree with everything but the thing like Battlefield, because the main point of Battlefield and Yoshi's story is that the triplat is high up. This plays more like a mix between Smashville and PS2. Lilat. In practice, Lilat really doesn't play like Battlefield at all. But that's a legitimate question I did have.
No. I'm not talking about how they play. I'm just trying to state the way they look, right? So the Lilat, the middle thing is lower. I think it's about, I think like you stated, it's around Pokemon Stadium.
PS2 and with Smashville.
Exactly, it's that height, but with the middle plat being at the same level, around the same level.
So it's like Smashville. It's like PS2 and Smashville
had
a baby. To be
honest, that is exactly what I meant. I went towards the.
Yeah.
So I think Lilat is fine at counter pick, but Caliph, again, the issue is that the plats are a little outside, that is still fine at counter pick. The only issue is small Battlefield, right? It has 2 static plats on the stage itself, but yeah, the thing is a little smaller, and it's like very similar to Pokemon Stadium. So that is why I think it's 2 stage. It's intrinsically the same stage with a different skin, even though it's not. But it just like feels that way. And again, I gave my justification on why Town and City and Final Destination are fine, because Town and City does have moving plats.
Yes.
So there's that.
Yes, I give it the Town and City point. I'm just trying to understand the Lilat point when your negative point on most stages. In fact, almost all stages that are similar is that they play very similar to each other.
Again, Lilat is still fine. I think Lilat can be a counter pick, but I do not think it
Why
can
should
be
not be a starter? The legitimate reason, if it's a stage that plays differently than anyone else, it no longer has bugs. Like, there's no longer a bug where character cannot recover. You have to recover differently, yes, but I would like to remind you, Town and City, you also need to recover extremely differently, and stages with walls also make you recover differently. So the fact that your recovery is different does not actually affect it. Especially when, I hate to say Pikachu because Pikachu has so much privilege, but Pikachu's main actually do have to recover differently on Town and City, or they will just die. The regular recovery you do with Pikachu does not snap the ledge. You have to go a bit away from it to really work out. So when you are arguing against stages that they play differently, what is your real reason for Lilat not counting? Because Lilat literally fits everything, and you've not really given me a reason why. It has completely different layout. Forget that it looks similar to some layout visually. It is in practice a completely different layout. Okay, there's a full platform there that isn't there. Okay. So, and if you want to talk about why that platform makes a difference, if you move 2 platforms from PS2, it becomes FT. So is that really not the same stage? You would say no, right? The same way adding 1 platform makes it a completely different stage. So why not Lilat?
Like I said, it's Pokemon Stadium. I mean, Lilat and Pokemon Stadium are around the same, but at the corners there's a little bit of slant and a middle plat. Actually, I do not know why I have not taken a look at Lilat in that way. I think Lilat, I'm not sure. Can it be a starter though? It is unique, yes, but I think the only reason why it's not a starter is because it's kind of new. And I think we just started Lilat recently because it had so many bugs.
Yeah, we started recently. I'll tell you a bit of its history actually. In Brawl, I don't know if it's legal in Brawl, but in Smash 4 specifically, it was, right? But in Smash 4, it was still thing, yeah. It was at the stage used to tilt in earlier Smash games, and it was actually up until I think patch 8.1 of Ultimate, there was a bug where a lot of characters cannot actually cover the stage as intended. They will fall through the ledge. Like
Yeah. I remember. I think when I first got my Smash, this was the main issue that people were complaining about.
That is completely fixed now, and you do need to recover differently, but that is not inherently bad. Unova people needed to recover differently, and there's still arguments why Unova should be brought back. And Town and City is legal, and people need to recover differently on that. Your wall stages you recover differently. Your recovery becomes better for some characters, worse for other characters on wall stages. Yeah, it's another dual plant. But yeah, so I do want to actually have that conversation, especially because you're new. You do not have that bias of why Lilat is bad. A lot of people have this bias from earlier Smash games, which I think is really hurting that stage's visibility. That was really interesting.
Alright, so I hate Lilat only for one reason, it's too dark. So this is pretty personal, but the only reason why I hate playing at Lilat is I used to play Joker before, right? And I used to hate the Lilat stage because I could not see shit. Again, that's like a very biased opinion, so there is a little bit of personal bias there, so I'm not the right person to ask about Lilat.
That's a lot of people do have that bias, and that might actually be a very fair point that visibility does matter.
Because Final Destination is dark, yes, but there are a few bright lights and you can look and you can not get a headache. The main issue with Lilat is like the plat, there are 3 plats, it's a little bit closer, I mean it's around Pokemon stages. PK2 is height, but there are 3 plats which makes it look congested, and you're down and you're on top. And it kind of hurts your eyes because it's like too dark, and if you're wearing a dark skin as well, it's just a little hard for me to
What
see
if
what's happening.
Lilat was modded to become light?
I'm sorry?
What if you can have aesthetic mods if you have a V1?
Okay, yeah, so if Lilat was a little bit brighter, I would actually vote to have Lilat instead of Small Battlefield on starter.
Instead of small battlefield or instead of town? Because let's forget about the current stage. Let's forget about the current. I'm talking about the old one. Where we
Okay,
did
so
have
you
small
want me to
battlefield.
make a stage list if I was to select one, is it?
No,
Is that
I'm
what you're
saying,
saying?
I'm saying when you're saying small battlefield, but I'm saying more, remember the old stage list before small battlefield was added? And, we had
Okay,
town,
right.
and then we have town and FT, right? Because
Yeah,
small
wait,
battlefield
so
versus
if I have
PS2.
to-
Wait, I just want to say small battlefield versus PS2 is a different argument. I'm saying instead of town and FT, because you brought up that point. I was asking if you would change.
Okay, yeah, so I would. I would actually replace it with Smashville. Okay, no, never mind. I think we have FE and Town and City, so I think I would replace it with Town and City. Town and City would be the counter pick again. So, like I said, if there was an option again, like coming back to the first point I made, Town and City should be in counter pick, but given that you made a point that there are only 4 stages, and Town and City is like the single stage with like moving plats, is why I bought Town and City into starters.
Yeah, that's
So,
a very fair point.
So ideally, my starter would be Battlefield, Final Destination, Pokemon Stadium 2, Smashville, and Lilat Cruise. That is, in fact, if it gets a brighter mod and if I can see proper. Yeah.
It's still low contrast.
No. Yeah, the contrast is like pretty bad. So that's the main thing. If you're playing.
Yeah, no, go on. Please go on. I was thinking. to
No,
myself, I
if
didn't
you're
mean
on
to
an OLED TV or something, it's really bad. I actually want you to try it out on an OLED TV.
I'll be down for that. If I was
No,
wondering.
just try it out on an OLED TV. It looks so I do not have an OLED TV. I went to my friend's place. I played Smash with him. He had an OLED TV. It's really hard. So I was playing Joker with the default skin. Apart from his like face and his gloves, you really cannot make out anything.
They're also really bad. Those are actually much worse. But
So,
we're not
even-
pointed not to say things are worse. We should be okay with it. My question is, what if you pick a light character? Sorry, I was burping. What if you pick up a light character, like instead of using default Joke? I know it's not perfect, but what if you use say White Joker?
No,
Do you still find that
again,
same issue?
No, yeah. Okay, I am slightly colorblind, so this is why I said that I'm pretty biased. So it's like dark, I cannot concentrate. Even the Lilac page, right? It's dark blue, so it's like pretty dull looking. That's what I said. So if there is a way to mod the whole color scheme of the stage and make it a little bit more brighter, vibrant, I think that would be much better.
Yeah, that's actually, that's very fair. So, I really like having these not really theoretical but way of these discussions. One last question I have is why PS2 over small battle? Is it just because you played on it all this time, or do you have a reason you like that stage more than others?
No, small. The main reason is like small battlefield is new, and like people are used to Pokemon Stadium, so that is why I think it would be good as starter. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty easy.
I would try not to use new and old as a argument for stages. I would think about which stage is really better for the competitive nature of the game. And this I would say that small battlefield is at least causes action to happen more frequently, while PS2 is more of a zoning game.
Also, second reason as to why I want small battlefield and like counterpick and not starter is because we already have one small stage. We have Final Destination, which is around the same length of this stage. No?
FD is not small actually. FD is around, Smashville is small, but FD is around 1.25x. It's around the size of PS2. It's slightly smaller than PS2.
Oh, wait, okay, so which stage is around the same? Sorry, which? I'm sorry.
Smashville and Lilac are only.
Lilac is small.
Lilac is very small. It's not. I can explain that off basically, but in fact, even though small battlefield is a very small stage length, his side blood zones are actually pretty far from the stage. Whereas in PS2, it's a very large stage length, but the blood zones are quite close to the edge.
Makes sense. It's like Kalos, if I'm not wrong.
Kind of. It's a bit more nuanced than that, and I'll explain. So when have you been looking at that? Oh, that was a really good tech by AJ. Isan, have you been looking at the the stage comparator by any chance when you've been making these comments of the? Have you seen
no,
that image? Right?
Which one? Which stage are you talking about?
There's this tool that people use to compare stage size. Have you ever seen an image from that? It's like a wireframe of the stages.
I remember when like small battlefield came out, I looked at it.
Okay.
I know small battlefield is like smaller than Final Destination, but I did not know Smashville was around the same size.
Smashville is around the same length actually. The reason I think that can be misleading sometimes because stage size and blast zone length matter more in relation to each other than they do in actual size. Like PS2 blast zone, okay, if you look at that image, it's actually farther apart than small battlefield. But from the ledge to the blast zone, it's actually closer in PS2. But because the length is so huge, you don't actually notice.
Yeah, and so that's what I said about Kalos, right? The stage is big, but the side blast zones are like close.
They're really far actually. Kalos is really far. It's town and city only. Town and city, the stage is big, like lengthwise, but the blast zones are really close to the side. You can kill somebody with your side be around 40 to 50%.
I see.
It's pretty interesting. I'm always happy to discuss that more. So
I did not know that, so I do not think I'm like well advised to talk about the blast zones.
It's not about well advised. I'm just discussing. I want to see different people's views. That's all.
Yeah, so I'm not sure about the blast zone, so I'm not going to talk about it regardless. I think it would be better for that.
So you stated we stated Battlefield FD. Small battle.
My optimum starter is it? Is that what you're after?
Yeah, the optimal list you're starting.
Yeah, okay, I'll just tell you which one.
Given that Lilac is brighter.
Okay, given Lilac. Okay. I'll just tell you which one it is. So it's going to be a Battlefield, Final Destination, PK2, Town and City. No wait, Town City is again the same thing. Smashville and then Lilac. Yeah, Smashville and Lilac.
Okay, interesting. I come very close, but I would change PS2 for a small battlefield. And yes, I do think that you end up with too many quote-unquote small stages. But in this game, Ultimate especially, Battlefield is actually quite big. Not big enough to be a too big stage, but it is big. Given that Lilac is more bright, I would say Lilac should be a starter.
Yeah, if Lilac was like more brighter, it would have been much better. I kind of like Lilac, No, I do not like slanting stages, but Lilith I can make an excuse, but it's like too dark for my eyes. I literally get a strain. That's why whenever I play with Bikram, I'm like, dude, let's just not play on Lilith.
People have too much bias against Lilith for dumb reasons, in my opinion. Ever since it was fixed, I actually think it's a perfectly fine stage.
Again, I do not complain about the stage per se. It looks awful. That's all it is for me.
Fair. Oh, it messes up even after the fix?
3, 2, 1, go!
Yeah. Oh, there was no I got Cat fun.
I don't know if you're talking about character recoveries. I'm gonna have a hard time with recovering as Nest though.
On Lilac.
On Lilac, yeah, because it's plant and there's nothing beneath it, no? On Yoshi and all, he'll hit the wall and he'll eventually try to go up. On Lilac, it's kinda dead.
Yeah, you have to go straight up. I have that same issue with Lucian.
Yeah,
What are you
exactly.
asking? To Kalos, I think it's a great replacement, but I want to at least test it out more and see how the layout really works. There's 6 layouts in total, right? So what I understand. Different platforms. On the side. And they're all super big is what I've heard. Yeah, oh yeah, it's all the same stage. Hey, that makes it really good then. Especially if we start deciding on, like we need to obviously come up with the users on whether we random it and let people take the chance. Or
Also,
do we let people choose? Yeah, but if they mess it up, then you then keep playing. You keep playing it. But I'm just wondering if we the Kasia planes one day.
Also, AOC is actually doing well.
Yeah, this match is actually doing. This is Mario's best stage, and it's gonna be. I think this is gonna be dead if he gets the lead with the up air. But then he didn't get it after that hero combo. It is doing really well. This is Mario's best stage and one of Pikachu's worst stages, honestly. But I'll be honest, Pikachu's stage, like even Pikachu's worst stage, is that bad for him. Yeah, I can see that. Nice. Cool.
Mario wins!
Yeah. No, I think the conversation is fine. It's a conversation about what stages we think are. Oh, I was out, so I was it. I mean, yeah. I mean, we should be trying things out first off. That's whether if it's bad, so what? One tournament, it was bad. We move on.
Also, a quick question. What's up with which one is that? Fountain of Dreams not being a part of official list?
It
is technically a battlefield, no?
No. It is not technically a battlefield. It is a battlefield copy. Like blast zones are the same, platform heights are the same. In hatches off, yes. In hatches off, but right now I think we're only talking about hatches off.
Ready?
Yes. Did we? No, go on. I want to ask if whether Dreamland was nice.
No, yeah, exactly. Coming back to Quartz point, Fountain of Dreams is pretty hard to It's not as bad as Lilith, but it's a little. I don't know. Yeah, exactly. It's a little weird. But I don't mind playing on Fountain of Dreams. But Lilith is. Yeah, makes sense. Yeah.
You know, Ishan, that's really interesting because, like, even though I'm used to it from playing so much Data State a lot in Melee, I actually find Fountain of Dreams much harder than Lilac because
No,
it's a lot more
No.
visually
So
messy.
when. Yeah, true. So whenever I play with Vikram, that is when he's not playing with you.
He
Are
doesn't
you?
play me that much. This is slander.
Please. So I usually ask him to not play on his two this at all. Sometimes I'm like, okay, fine, let's do it. If both of the characters are wearing bright clothes, I'm like, fine, let's do it, whatever. But generally, Lilith and like Fountain of Dreams seem a little hard. I mean, Fountain of Dreams is a pretty good stage. I like it, but the color palette is bad.
Very messy. Very
Yeah,
messy.
and Ultimate is also a very vibrant game. So a few stages will not look good. I mean, they look good, but you know what I'm trying
They're
to say.
not
They do not.
competitively good. They're
Yeah,
very
exactly.
noisy.
Yeah. So something like Smashville looks really good with vibrant, but darker stages do not really look that great with vibrancy.
Well, I guess I think that at the end of the day, come down to what we value in a competitive game.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm still like when it comes to our current is where Lilac cannot be a starter stage, and I think a lot of people have biases beyond Lilac. Even though I personally feel a brighter Lilac should be a starter. On Twitter. I do it on website. Yeah. So I think that when it comes to you believe that Town and FT are less equipped than Small Battlefield and PS2, but I'm more optimistic that Small Battlefield and PS2 play much different, and it's fine that we have different opinions. I guess we have to see what
You cannot have different opinions. What is this? How dare you have different opinions?
This isn't Twitter. This
Bro.
is Kurtz's wholesome.
You just have a different opinion that I do not. If you just have an opinion I do not agree with, how dare you? Apologize to me right now.
Yeah, entire group is gonna
I'm
cancel
still waiting.
you.
Where is the apology? Please.
But, no, you have to first
I
come up
need a
with a tweet
3-minute
longer.
YouTube video.
No. You have to first give me a tweet longer. Until you cancel me with a tweet longer, it's not official.
Oh, makes sense. True. My bad. I'm writing one down right now. I mean, just skip the conversation. There's nothing substantial. Also, Minecraft World Stage, I've not actually played on them, but I've seen the two plats which look like small battlefield variation. And then there is a final destination variant, no? Is that right?
Pikachu wins.
Oh, okay. Wait, is it
The
actually?
L down the biplat variation. Yep.
No, wait. Is the Minecraft stage actually as big as Kalos? Wow, okay. It doesn't look that way. It looks a little smaller.
Also, I think I'm the very much the minority, but PS2 and SPF are not literally the same.
Ready?
It was wait. He has a tether gap to like ledge. No, right? He doesn't have a tether gap to ledge.
No, no.
Oh, okay. So Lil Mac, Mix at me just talking about the fact that tether gap goes to blocks. For a moment, I was very confused. Yeah.
Yeah, he's like playing Violet, but
I know why he's playing. Like, I think I know why he's playing Violet, judging by that WhatsApp comment. So if you have a tether gap and Steve tries to do the block thing, where he puts a block that you can't, you actually go through and destroy the blocks without any problem. So Joker actually recovers better when he's without RC than when he's with RC, which is really fun.
oh yeah, true. I mean, Arsene does not have a hitbox, no, whenever he's recovering.
He doesn't have a hitbox, but he has invincibility. But the thing
Yeah,
with Steve is that Steve can block RC, but he can't block normal. So
Yeah, true. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I'm saying with.
Sorry, I didn't see your message.
Oh wait, is it lefty?
No, it's
Oh, that's Jolt. My bad, sorry, look. I mean, he did really well in the first match. He got like three stock Jolt, so and now Jolt is taking it back. I mean,
Does he have a
regardless
LAN
who
adapter?
wins.
Yeah, I think Jolt. So now he gets one, and he's in bind. He get one fast.
Okay.
No, I
Yeah.
do think that there are many players that we have actually not reached out to. I mean, at smaller cities, that is.
Discovery is hard.
Yeah, true, exactly, yeah. I mean, so this guy, so the guy I got recently, right? My man lives in Ahmedabad. So it's like, I mean, literally nobody would know what's happening here. The competitions are really happening like post cities, that's all.
No, I will have a counterpoint though about. I think. Oh wow, he really went for that. Congrats, Joel.
Congrats,
And that was
Joel.
good end. That's actually a really nice end. He actually just killed